Alright guys, welcome back. So I finally got these reverse lights installed, and what I've done is I didn't really have time to wire them all the way up to my auxiliary switch. So I tapped into my reverse light wire from my toe plug, the 6-pin or 8-pin, bigger than 2-pin. So let me show you. But first of all, as you can see, the two lights down here, very tucked away, very neat. Actually, I really love the look, so I hope the lights last. And I'm going to turn them on for you in a minute, but let me get under here and show you what I did. So now each one has a red and a black wire coming off it. So of course the black is the ground. So I connected the two blacks together, and then I spliced another wire off of it to go to this ground that's already present underneath the car here, if you can see that. Now the reds, I did the same thing. I put the two lights together, and then this is the back of the 6-pin plug right here. And if you look at the diagram, the middle prong is listed as backup lamps. So to go back under, if you squeeze right here, the plug pulls right out. And the particular wire I was looking for is kind of a brownish green looking wire. So then with the red wire, I spliced off of these two lights that were already spliced together. I spliced into that, and voila, we're good to go. Now with these particular lights, I did have to drill a couple holes, and then I took these self-threading screws, and these things are rock solid. I may need to adjust up and down again a little bit, but we're going to do that once it gets dark. So I'm going to go, there we go. I'm going to go throw it in reverse, and you'll see how they look. And drive. So I think you get an idea of how bright these things actually are. I mean, they are bright, and right now they're kind of blinding me. So the truck is on an incline. Well, it's on a decline, so the back end is sticking up a little bit. So maybe that's why they're blasting me in the face, but I may have to shoot them down on the ground a little bit more. They may be shooting up just a little bit too high. I'd like for them to kind of hit the ground, maybe, I don't know, 8 to 12 feet behind the truck, just to give me better visibility. And these may be shooting back just a little too far. But anyway, guys, a real simple install. I love the looks of these. I don't see anyone else running these lights. I'm going to put a description down below as to where I got them. It's an Amazon link, and it does help me if you would use that link if you are going to purchase them. Hey guys, welcome back once again. So I wanted to rewire these reverse lights I put on, and right now they're wired so that when I put the vehicle in reverse they will automatically come on. But what I want to do is I also want to wire them up to one of my auxiliary switches, so I have the option of turning them on independently or also when the vehicle's in reverse. So this is really simple. Since they're already wired into the reverse lights, all I really need to do is run another red wire, basically, that's going to go from the lights all the way up to an auxiliary input. Sorry. So I'm going to kind of show you that real quick for those that are interested. Again, this is where they're at now. And if you can see under here, I kind of showed you there's a lot of wires, right? So off of each light, you've got a bundle with red and black, the black being ground. So I tied the two blacks together and ran them to a ground screw that was actually over here. And you could do it to anything. You don't no need to run that all the way back up to the front of the vehicle. Now, the reds, I did a similar thing. I tied them both together, and then I spliced them into I guess this is the 6-pin tow electrical connection. So that pops right out. That's real simple. You depress over here, it's probably hard to see, but that'll pull right out. No need to remove the tire or anything like that. You tap into the center wire, which they're nicely labeled right here, and you can see the center one is labeled backup lamps. So you're going to pull that out through underneath and tie the red wire into that. Essentially, that gives you power, so whenever the vehicle's in reverse, not only are your reverse lights going on, but these little LEDs are going. So now I will run a wire, I will just tap into the red where they're already spliced together, and I'm going to run them forward. Now, I've already got rock lights on here, so I've got wiring basically going from the wheel wells all the way up front already. I'm going to try to tie into that bundle and kind of go from there. So let me get all my stuff together, and then we'll see exactly how we're going to run this, and I'll show you in case any of you are interested in doing the same thing. Alright guys, welcome back. So what I'm doing underneath the truck today is I want to connect those reverse LED lights to an auxiliary switch. So right now I have them wired into the reverse lights. So when I put the vehicle in reverse, not only do my normal reverse lights go on, but those LEDs go on. So what I want to be able to do is have the dual functionality of it. So that still will remain the same, but in addition I can put them on independently using one of the auxiliary switches. So what I have here is I've already run some wire, and this is for my rock lights, and it's a little messy because it's not tightened up yet. But what I've done is I've taken some red wire and I started in the engine bay and I just fed it down. So I'm basically feeding it down from where they will connect to the wires that go to the auxiliary switches. I just find it easier to start from the front of the vehicle and run down using gravity instead of trying to feed a wire upwards. I don't have any helping hands right now. You can use a coat hanger or something like that if you're going the other direction. But for me, I thought, let me feed it this way. So I'm feeding it down, and this is what we have so far. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out my path. I've got some zip ties here, and they're going to be basically connected into here. These are going to be tightened up a little. I'll probably go with it. And then we'll go all the way to the back to the hitch area. So let me fish this through here, and then when we get to the back, I will show you exactly what's going on with the wiring. Okay guys, now I have run the hot wire, the red wire, all the way from the front of the vehicle to the back. I'll show you how I did that, in case this is something you want to do. Like I said before, I started by running the red wire down. And for me, I just found a nice spot right here. So I fed that down. I was able to come underneath. And let's see if you can see this. But you can see the red wire coming down. I went behind this, and then I started feeding it with some zip ties, and I'm going to tighten it up more. Now this is the brace for the footrail. So I went down, zip tie, just went behind this aluminum, this metal, all the way down. Let me see if I can feed myself down here. Then honestly guys, you can do it any way you want. There's all these little holes, so I meticulously fed it through a hole here, up through this hole. This is the rear tire now. Up through this, just to hold it, and then up, if you could see, right into the frame rail. And then there's enough holes so I was able to continue to feed that. I'm crawling underneath the truck here to try to show you. So I went inside here, and then there's holes here, and then the back where I was able to continue to feed it. So the wire's actually inside the frame. And then you can see, I popped out here because it was kind of hard to feed it any further on the inside. So I had to come out because of this. Came back in, I used a zip tie just to hold it up. I'm going to tighten that down. Now I'm at the very back. I came over the leaf spring into this, around, this is the tow bar. This is a ground. All the way down and across, where I am now going to tap in to the spliced red line that has both lights spliced together. Now I like using these things, and honestly I got them over at Harbor Freight. So they're just called quick splices. You can get them anywhere. The blue ones are 18 to 14 gauge, the red are 22 to 18. So I'm just going to grab, I'm using 16 gauge right now. I was using 14 before. But to be honest, I don't think it's necessary. So either one will work just fine. 14 or 16 gauge. You know, if you're going to do a long run, I would definitely say use 14. But really, anything over 50 feet, the length of a truck, 20-some feet, you're fine with 16 gauge. So I'm going to splice the auxiliary switch into this red wire. Okay, so the red wire that I ran from the front of the vehicle all the way to the back, I've now spliced in to the red wire in the back here. And then that continues to the reverse power, and I'm going to go to the front of the vehicle and splice into one of my auxiliary switches, which I think is going to be number 2. I've only got 2 left. I've got 1 and 2. And what you do is you put the wire through this end, you crimp it. You put your red wire through here, crimp it, and then these will just plug together. And the nice thing is, you can always unplug them. In theory. If they're built good. These, I don't know. These may be a one-shot deal nonetheless. Let me get some wire clippers. Alright. The first thing we need to figure out is the green and white or the brown and blue, the number 2 switch. Now again, all the wiring information for the Raptor can be found in this little supplemental guide. But remember, the 18 is different than the 17. Even though this does say 18 on it, the wiring color on here is incorrect. So again, what you're going to want to do is take a screenshot of this. The colors and the numbers associated with it that are listed in here, I believe are good for the 17. But for the 18 they changed, and why they didn't print this differently, I don't know. But switch number 1 is that green and white wire, and switch number 2 is the brown and blue. Now I've been working from 6 back up to 1, so the next available switch I have is 2, so that's going to be the brown and blue. And it is a 15 amp, which is going to be more than enough for these lights. So that's the brown and blue. They come with these waxy or rubbery ends on them. You do have to cut them off in order to get to the wire. Not that easy just to strip. So what I like to do, because the wire is short as it is, so I go about halfway down and cut it, and you can see I'm into the wire. Maybe you can go less, but Nico, stop. What I want to do is strip that off. There we go. Very easy. Twist the end. And I think I'll go female end on this. So I'm going to fish that in there. I actually like to double the end of that a little. It makes it a little thicker. Then I'm going to put it through here and crimp it tight. And you do want to make sure you're crimping the metal and not just the plastic on these. So now we're going to grab the red wire that we fished through from down below. And I'll give myself a little extra. to strip this same way. There we go. Twist all the individual braids together. And then we'll take the male end and do the same thing. Just crimp that nice and tight. There we go. And the tools out of the way. I can feed this up through here. Good. I'm going to push this together and make sure that they are nice and snug. Now, for whatever reason, maybe these are just cheap connectors. So I end up with a gap, and I am going to put some electrical tape on that. But first I'm going to test the system. And let's see if she works. So you'll be the first to know. I'm going to get started, and you'll see whether it passed or failed. Alright, so we're in reverse, and they still come out. So that's great. Now let's put it in park and turn the outside. And the lights are on. That's awesome. Now let me turn the switch off. Switch is off. And they are off. So there you go. So now I have dual use of these. They'll automatically come on when I'm in reverse, and then they will come on when I'm in park or in any gear, and I flip the auxiliary switch. So that's exactly what I wanted. Guys, it's pretty easy. As you can see, there's a lot of crawling around underneath the vehicle, fishing the wire through. What I need to do now is just go back through, tighten everything up with all those zip ties. Don't be afraid to use a ton of them if you have to. I'll put a link in the description to where I got these on Amazon, but you can get them anywhere. And anyway, thanks for watching. I'd enjoy some feedback. Let me know what you think, and until the next project, please subscribe and give it a like if you enjoyed it. Thanks.